Mr. Mayor, thanks for joining us. You stood before a judge, Judge Ho, in federal court today and addressed the potential dismissal of very serious charges against you. What did you say to Judge Ho today?
I think one of the most significant aspects is that I had to swear under oath, a question that has been, I think, inappropriately put out there, that was there some form of quid pro quo? Was I forced for my acknowledgement? Was I forced in anything? And under oath, I clearly stated I was not. And that was very important because what is put in the universe is not always facts. We're in an energy, in a time where people just want to spread things, and you just have to remain disciplined and honest and commitment. And I also stated to him when he stated about the potentiality of charges returning, and I said I can't see it happen because I did nothing wrong. I did not break a law, and I have been committed to that in my entire life.
Your attorney also addressed the allegations of quid pro quo. What did he say?
Same thing. He said, I'm willing to swear in right now under oath. And whoever's making those allegations should be under oath. He was clear. And I think as he eloquently put it, because the judge asked him who was he talking about, and he says it's difficult to know it nowadays because there's just so many rumors running wild right now. And, you know, this case has taken on so much attention internationally. People talk about it all the time. And Cheryl, you know, the depth of what I went through, my family went through for 15 months. No American should go through that. And this is a moment I think all of us need to pause and ask the question, are we having a justice system that is just and right? And we should all ask that. It's very important. And that's what my attorney laid out today.
Many of your critics were troubled by your appearance with Tom Homan on Fox and Friends and the implication of this for that, a quid pro quo, and him saying, you know, he'll be up your butt. That disturbed a lot of your supporters, including the Reverend Al Sharpton, who said it appears that you're being held hostage. Your response to that?
Well, a couple of things. One, Tom and I was ribbing each other prior to coming on the stage. We're two ex-police officers. This is what we do. We joke at each other. Some of our commentary is, you know, is inappropriate if you're on the stage. And he spoke with me. He says, you know, Eric, we're on TV. I should not have said that. I apologize to you. And he said, yes. And he stated when he was interviewed, I was joking with Eric. You know, in a day and time where everyone is playing the word police, and you know we're trying to play gotcha. Listen. Was he saying something that was trying to be offensive? No, he was not. It was clear when we saw the two of us sit down together, there was a cordial interaction. We had several interactions. I was joking with him backstage, etc. So we understand that. But I've been very clear, and I'm hearing people say over and over again, Eric, you're saying something different now that we have the new president in office. That is just not true. Go back to January 22, 23, early 24. I was saying the same thing. People who commit violent crimes in our city, documented or undocumented, need to be held accountable. And if you after you serve your time, you should be removed from our country. And not only do I believe that, 79% of New Yorkers believe what I'm saying. You should not be preying on migrants and asylum seekers. You should not be preying on everyday New Yorkers. You know what's interesting, Cheryl? When I was in Ecuador, people were leaving Ecuador because of dangerous gangs. They came here to the country and into New York, and what did they see? They said, these are the gangs we were running away from. We didn't want to leave our country. These gangs have really turned our country into a dangerous place.
I think the problem here is that many asylum seekers and their families who have nothing to do with criminal activity are now fearing for their safety. They're afraid to send their children to school. They're afraid to go to church, and many are afraid to go to work. Mr. Mayor, are you able to guarantee that ICE will never enter a New York City school or a church?
And look at that for a moment, because that's so important. We have to ask ourselves, why are they afraid? Because some of the people who swear they want to help and protect asylum seekers are creating this hysteria. I've been very clear. Go to school. Go to the hospital if you need health care. Go to your houses of worship. Go to your jobs. I've been very clear on that. Now, the Border Czar and ICE, they have made it clear they're going to carry out their mandate of enforcing immigration with or without the help of cities. They made it clear, and they have the authorization to do that. So if we are collaborating with those criminal elements, which is their highlight, then we are minimizing the amount of interaction with everyday migrants and asylum seekers. So I don't have the authorization to say that under no circumstances are they going somewhere. They have that authorization, but they have not been in any of our schools, any of our churches, any of our employment locations. That is what we should be looking at. And in addition to that, you can't enter a school without judicial warrant unless there's exigent circumstances where something dangerous is taking place. And we're very clear on that, and they are clear on that.
4 of your deputy mayors have resigned. They're going to leave office next month, according to reports. And that's leading quite a few city government officials to suggest that you've lost control of City Hall somehow, that your leadership is depleting. Your response to the critics?
Listen, love them, all 4 of them. Anne, Maria, Chauncey, Mira, they dedicated and committed their lives not only to the city while they were working for me for three years, but in their field of expertise. And look at the records we have broken because of them, and I'm really proud of them. They're moving on for probably a number of reasons, and it doesn't matter. I spoke with them. I'm sure if you were to interview them, they would tell you, we want to thank Eric for the opportunity, and we have a deep respect for each other. And they decided to move on. I mean, these are difficult times to govern right now. And, I respect the fact that they want to move on. But when people say that, okay, Eric, you're losing control of City Hall, they said that after this indictment came down. We were supposed to fall apart. The city was in disarray. Look what happened from the day the indictment came down. And I told New Yorkers, the attorney would handle the case. I'm going to handle the city, and I'm going to fight for New Yorkers. We started to see City of Yes was passed. We're seeing 20,000 illegal guns up the street. 8th time we broke the record of how many jobs in our city. Record after record after record of the housing. I'm just disciplined, and I know that all of us are going to go through something. But if you stay committed in what you do, you could get the job done. And I had an amazing team to do so. We are going to be fine. And we're going to look back over this moment, just the same hysteria we saw a couple of months, almost 15 months ago. We're going to look back over this moment and saw this guy, this blue-collar, working-class mayor, knows how to navigate tough times like every family member in this city, they do every day.
But 4 at one time, did that catch you by surprise?
No, I was hearing folks were saying that, we're looking to go sometime soon, and I don't know the significance of 4 at one time. Like I said, I appreciate their service. I hate to lose them, not only for their professional capacity, but because I like them. And I've said that more than once. I love my team and what they represent, and to lose 4 at one time is heartbreaking. And it's so funny, when I became mayor, I reflected on Mayor Koch because there was a year when Mayor Koch lost 3 deputy mayors at one time and 2 other senior staffers. So he lost 5 senior staffers at one time, So I didn't want to break his record by 4, but we know in this tough job of city government, I'm not the first that lose a lot. Even in Mayor de Blasio in January, he lost a significant number of his senior leadership. This happens. But the question becomes, how is your bench?
Right.
My bench is deep. We're going to replace them with good talent.
Is Kaz Daughtry on that bench? Is he
we're going to announce it. We'll give you a breaking news announcement
right now. Is Kaz Daughtry going to be your deputy mayor of public?
He's an excellent law enforcement person, but it's always been my rule. When we make appointments, we will announce them.
You will not confirm or deny.
Right, but
okay.
I'll make sure the team call you first and let you know.
I appreciate that. So quickly, let's touch on congestion pricing.
Yes.
President Trump tweeted, "Congestion pricing is dead in New York City. Long live the king," suggesting He sees himself as a king. Your response to that?
Well, I'm not sure of that. And for someone who always finds his words being taken out of context, I think they should just ask the president, what did he mean by that? You know, so I don't know. What I do know that Governor Cuomo passed a law. The MTA was in charge. Federal dollars came involved, and federal agreements came involved. So that is a state issue.
Sure.
I have enough problems, Cheryl, that I got to
But it
navigate.
affects a lot of New Yorkers, and many want to know where you stand on this issue.
Well, I was clear, and it does impact New Yorkers. We fought for waivers. We fought for the $100 million to go into the environmentally impacted communities. We wanted to see more waivers for transit employees, for first responders, and other entities. You know, so we had limited input. I had 2 people on the MTA board. But the reality was that this was a state issue passed by the Governor Cuomo and was carried through by the current governor and the MTA.
Should Governor Kathy Hochul fight and file the lawsuit along with the MTA, as she said today she will do?
I have enough fights for those who want to throw stones at me to recommend which fight the governor should have or shouldn't. It's a state issue. The governor and her team is going to make that determination.
Well, let's get to one last city issue before we move on.
Yes.
City Council Speaker Adrian Adams, very well respected, has not hopped on the bandwagon to call for your resignation until a few days ago. Your response to her claims that you're no longer capable of running this city?
But you know, we need to, when we make those accusations, they should be made based on facts. What facts she's looking? Crime is down. Jobs are up. Subway crime is down. Our streets are clean. We don't see encampments all over our streets like other cities where people are living on the ground. Our mental health crisis is being addressed. So it's easy to hurl those comments. But then as you're senior leaders in the city, you need to ask yourself, what am I using as the basics of stating that? And I'm just not finding it. And if ever I reach the point that I believe I do not have the capacity to handle the city that I love under crises and non-crises, I would not stay in this job.
What would you do?
I would leave.
You would resign?
Yes, yes. If I felt I could not do this job to the way that New Yorkers deserve, I would not stay here just to say, well, okay, I'm 110th mayor. That is not what you do when you love a city the way I love this city. We are showing continuous results year after year from every area you look at, from housing to homelessness to employment. And so when someone makes those statements, you have to ask, what is it that the mayor is not doing that you want him to do? And then you have to look also, Cheryl, at the people who are calling for my resignation.
Well, she's not running for mayor like some of the others.
Yeah, well, we don't know what people are doing, you know, but you have to look at that. Those are the same people that were calling for me to leave January 1st, 2022 when I first took in office. They haven't stopped. And many of them benefits from my departure. You know, some of the leading voices would benefit when I leave. It's just not serious. And I have to stay focused on running the city, and we're doing that.
I do want to ask you this.
Yes.
So many New Yorkers are troubled by what they're seeing. Some heartbroken because they supported you, they loved you, you know, and especially from Brooklyn, your borough. What's your message to them? No one can deny that this is a troubling time. You said yourself, this has been stressful for you and your family. What's your message to New Yorkers?
That's a great question. That's a great question. You know what's the most difficult thing could happen to a human being is to be victimized twice. I'm a victim of a very over-aggressive investigation. And I'm telling you, it hurts. And I'm a victim. And now that victimization is playing out again. Leaks, calling me names, he's corrupt, he's a criminal. You know what it is to be victimized twice? You know? And that's what I'm going through. So I'm saying to New Yorkers that the Eric you knew when you elected me state senator, first black borough president, When you saw me wear that bulletproof vest and protect your children and families and started 100 Blacks in law enforcement to fight for reform in the police department. When you saw me stand up what was right, even when I was in the agency that determined my status, I was still fighting for you. That's the same Eric, fighting for working class people. And I don't blame them that they feel a level of uncertainty. When you read all of this, you know, there are days when you say, is this our same Eric? And I'm saying, yes, it is. People want to fight me, I'm going to fight for New Yorkers. People want to talk about me, I'm going to talk about the things that New Yorkers need. I'm the same blue-collar, working class Eric Adams that they know. And I have to do that job to regain that trust, go back into the communities and speak with them. But I'm clear, when I go to town halls, senior centers, and other locations, they say to me over and over again, and we pray for you. Keep doing what you do and don't ever give up.
And that's why you're running for re-election on the Democratic line, yeah?
Yes, I am running for re-election on the Democratic line, and I'm going to share what we have done, what we are doing, and what the future is like. We're going to continue to create opportunities for New Yorkers, particularly working class New Yorkers, to make sure they have a future in this city. I'm living up to my commitment. If you go look at everything I ran on and check the boxes, you're going to see that I've completed much of everything that I ran on.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage, and click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.